was within 48 hours. He also advised Mr. Ngulube to submit a letter of exculpation within 7 days so that the Board of Trustees and Disciplinary Committee can handle the case, which may lead to expulsion from the party.
Today on Voice of the People, we're joined by NAREP National Chairman, Mr. Mabin Kawe, who will discuss with us what is happening in the party and other issues, including Zambia's proposed constitutional amendments, cyber laws, and the FRMA's first. Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
A very good morning to you, Patrick, and Fortress.
Most pleased to have you on Voice of the People. First things first, tell us a bit about NAREP, National Restoration Party.
Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to just highlight a few things about our party. First and foremost, NAREP is a party that is known in Zambia to be one of the most consistent political parties. It's known for issue-based, discussions. NAREP has never ever been involved in politics of violence, insults, and other bad traits. So we are a very formidable party, very disciplined, a party that is anchored on ideologies that we have established as a political party.
How was NAREP transitioned from its founder member, Mr. Lashpimo?
Well, it hasn't been easy, so to speak. It's like in a home where you lose a parent. Of course, you expect a lot of things to happen. You have to adjust. And adjustment does not just happen within a day or a year. It takes time, So it has been a very tedious journey, full of challenges, but not insurmountable. And we are here, still surviving as NAREP. So to say, we are still existing as a political party.
Would you say that NAREP is still very much alive and very much aligned with the original ideology or ideologies of its founder members?
We've never pivoted from what we set for ourselves as guiding principles. We are still a party that believes in a lot of things that we set for ourselves. For instance, right now as we are talking, we are the country is grappling with power outages. Mm-hmm. If you go through our party, a manifesto and our party, booklets, one of the things that set NAREP apart from other political parties is the belief that we need to be a hub of power in terms of energy. We've got everything. Huge water bodies, but we're still grappling for that. So, having said that, we are still the same NAREP, except that, politics is dynamic. You have to change with time. Things are changing. Technology is evolving. Whatever we set then, of course, we have redefined them. But we are still the same political party that believes in itself and the ideologies that we stand for.
Talk of dynamics. You then moved on to the leadership of Mr. Stephen Nyirenda. How was that? And how have the dynamics evolved from Mr. Stephen Nyirenda to date?
Well, thank you so very much. I think let me take this opportunity now to put the records straight with regards to how Engineer Nyirenda found himself as a president of NAREP. Initially, people may not be aware. Initially, by then, Steve Nyirenda was still running a party called Muntu Party. Mm-hmm. So we planned that we have him as a political partner, not to take over NAREP fully. That was the arrangement. But as it is, sometimes in Bemba, they say, so when he came, little did we know that he had his own motives and plans of hijacking the whole political party. Mm-hmm. But something that you just want to take, that you have not labored for, that you don't even know how it was founded, it is practically impossible sometimes to succeed in your fight for that. So we had him, and we had quite a good number of differences that made us to say, no, we can't continue on this path. We have to part company. There are certain things that we believe in as a party that he didn't want to subscribe to, you know. So based on all those small and bigger differences that we've had, we decided to part company. And of course, as it is always, you know, we had to face a lot of challenges. We had to go through the court processes until the case was finally disposed of in the courts of law. And here we are, we still have NAREP back in our hands.
So prior to the arrangement that you made with Mr. Stephen Nyirenda, how did he manage to find himself in the top position, overpower everybody and become the president?
Well, you know, as our constitution stipulates, suffice to say that NAREP do not have like a president permanently. When you are a president of NAREP, it does not guarantee you that you still be the presidential candidate if you are having an election like next year. Our constitution provides for any other member of the party in good standing with the party, with the right qualifications, to also, you know, vie for a presidential candidate of the party. A president of NAREP is just a custodian of the party. But when it comes to elections, we always, you know, broaden our search. So Stephen Nyirenda was brought on board, and at some point we felt he was the right person, you know, to contest on NAREP as alliance partner, as a presidential candidate. But along the way, before we could even get to 2021 general elections, we experienced a lot of differences that led to us to say, no, we can't go with you, and we parted a company, and we ended up in the courts of law, and the case until finally it was disposed of in the courts of law.
I would love to ask you this question. Doesn't it lose public confidence that you tend to change presidents oftenly?
Well, it's not like changing presidents often. Look, it's like, I'll put it this way. When you look at the American system of, you know, doing politics, Republicans, they've got the custodians of these political groupings. But even when you are the CEO of a party or the topmost, it does not qualify you or guarantee you that you still be a presidential candidate in an election. I think our constitution is a good one, because it removes that notion of saying, when I form a political party and I'm a president, then I hold everything, I control everything. Our constitution is liberal, so to speak. It gives every member with the right credentials, qualifications, and in good standing with the party, an opportunity, you know, to excel. And who knows, you know, there are situations where, like, even in a company, you can be the founder of a company, but ultimately, as you go along the way, you discover that there is someone who can even do better than you. What do? You pave way for such a particular individual to propel your company, you know, to greater heights. So the same thing applies to NAREP. NAREP, we've got a liberal constitution which gives opportunity for its members, you know, to showcase their political prowess.
Just to take you back to the issue of Mr. Nyirenda. So after the case was disposed of in the courts of law, did NAREP still file a candidate in the general elections, 2021?
Unfortunately, you know, court issues, they take long. So by then, prior to 2021 elections, we were in the UPND alliance. Actually, let me say that we are the founding, you know, a member of the UPND alliance, which ushered in even the UPND government. So Steve came along the way, and he found us that we are already in the alliance. So one of the things that we differed on was the issue of NAREP being in the alliance. So he wanted us to move out of the alliance. But we told him that, look, we gave birth to this alliance during the time of our founding president, Dr. Elias Chipimo. You know, We started the alliance, and along the way, UPND joined, and many other political parties came on board. So we told him, this is our baby. We can't kill our baby. We just have to stay with this. So amongst many other things that we differed on, the issue of the alliance was also one of them. So we couldn't, fill in a candidate because as alliance, we had already made a conclusion, or rather a decision, that we are only going to float one candidate, who was President Hakainde Hichilema.
Okay. Is the NAREP still in the UPND alliance?
Oh, yes. Right now, as I'm talking, we've got a team that is in Lumezi to make sure that we support the candidature or who is standing on the UPND ticket. We are very much in the alliance. Yes.
Let's go back to the party dynamics. So after that issue with Mr. Nyirenda, you had an interim president, I believe?
Our constitution is very straightforward. The hierarchy of our party is that we have a president, and we also have a political party, a vice president. We also have a political party administration, a vice president for administration. By then he was Charles Maboshe, So after, when Steve Nyirenda came in as a member of the alliance and a potential presidential candidate for 2021, we still had Charles Maboshe as our vice president for administration, who was the overall boss. So after the departure of engineer Stephen Nyirenda, we had a vice president for administration, Maboshe, who took over as president as per our constitution. So we had Charles Maboshe, who served as a president of NAREP. And according to our constitution, when he stepped aside because he had some other things to do, we sat down as NEC. Again, we followed our constitution, which gave the mandate to then National Secretary, the young Ezra Tikwiza Ngulube, and he was appointed and ratified by the NEC as interim or president of the National Restoration Party, and is still serving as president of NAREP.
Now help us understand. So what has led to his suspension then?
Well, this is where indiscipline comes in, within the party. For records purposes, the person who masqueraded as a chairman, and you can now tell, he was calling himself acting chairman. Why was he calling himself acting chairman? Because for a long time, Mr. Chipasha was given the position or was appointed as national chairman of National Restoration Party by one Charles Maboshe, and he was ratified by the NEC. Now, during the meeting that took place on the 7th of December 2024, one Kennedy Chipasha was removed from that position for reasons that he knows and acknowledged. He received the letter and he acknowledged. And in the background, we even started engaging ourselves, Now, where he resurfaced and masqueraded and paraded a few individuals, disgruntled individuals, to start visiting media houses and allege that President Ngulube has been suspended. On what grounds has he been suspended?
Did you ever have a dialogue with him?
Well, yeah, before he did that, we were meeting, we were discussing. So whatever happened in the background, that made him to, come out like that without even engaging other members of the party, senior members, before he could make that move. It is something that actually caught us unaware, and we were shocked, all of us. Because amongst the people that he paraded, there was one Martin Mlenga. Martin Mlenga is one person who came from the faction of Steve Nyarenda. They had their own differences, and he came. You know, politics is about numbers. We welcomed Martin Mlenga, and we gave him the opportunity to showcase his political muscle, which he did. But look, these positions that we hold, they are not permanent. It's like a football team. You know, when you are playing number 9, it does not mean that you be there forever. There are times when, according to the coach's game plan, we'll say, this game plan, you can't play on number 9, we'll drop you, maybe you play on the wing. Does it mean that you have been removed from the team? No. This is exactly what happened to these two comrades, Martin Mlenga and Comrade Chipasha. Martin Mlenga was also relieved of his position of Secretary General Politics to a member. I don't know if that is what made them to feel bad and decide to go against the party constitution. Look, if you read article number 7 according to our party, it talks about the responsibilities of party members to, number 1, to uphold the constitution. Now, if the constitution has given guidance to how best we should behave ourselves, and when we are found wanting, you are subjected to disciplinary processes, then you feel bad, decide to go away, gang up, and begin to, misbehave, like chasing the president. Our constitution is very straightforward. Against article number 8, it states that no individual has the power to fire or suspend any senior member of the party, including the president, except the National Executive Committee. And that should form a quorum. A president, if he feels someone is erring somewhere, he will just make a recommendation that this person must be disciplined. But the National Executive Committee has to meet and say, okay, yes, this person deserves to be disciplined. And again, you don't just chase the person right there and then. There is a disciplinary committee which is chaired by Comrade Mumba. So if the president had abrogated the constitution or did something against the party, he was supposed to be caught by the neck and subjected to the process of the disciplinary procedures. But that never existed. Now, this calls for you media houses. When people walk or rather come to you with such kind of issues, please seek verifications.
Now, what actions have you taken to Mr. Chipasha, who was, you did say that he used media as a medium of communication and spreading disinformation. So what actions have you taken as a party?
Well, as per party procedure, number 1, we've reached out to them and they are non-responsive. The disciplinary committee called them, gave them the opportunity to exculpate himself, particularly Mr. Chipasha, and he has not, adhered to the laid down procedures. So what we do, we sat as National Executive Committee to suspend Mr. Chipasha from the party. Number 2, Mr. Mlenga was also called by the disciplinary committee to exculpate himself. We gave him the opportunity, and him has not done so as well. So, as National Executive Committee, Mr. Mlenga has been suspended, or rather fired from the party. His membership has been terminated, so to speak. He will no longer have anything to do with National Restoration Party. He ceases to be our member as of the last NEC meeting that we held. Period. It ends there. We cannot allow indiscipline. Any house has got issues. Even in our homes, as married people, personally, tulakwata ama issues munganda, but we resolve them in a proper manner. In our bedrooms with our wives, you engage such that even when you wake up the following morning, mule pitana ma corridor, mule posha abana, morning, mwashuka, come on, go to school. Kids would think, ababantu bangeli, tabakwe sana. But those things do happen, but you use amicable ways so that peace continues.
So as things stand now, Mr. Ezra Ngulube is still the party president.
Mr. Ezra Ngulube has never ceased to be president of NAREP. He is the legitimate president of the National Restoration Party. Period. It ends there.
This is Voice of the People on the Power Breakfast on Power FM 91.3, also live on Beats TV on Topstar Channel 92. Our guest this morning is the NAREP National Chairman, Mr. Mabin Kawe. Let's move on away from party issues and maybe talk more about national issues. NAREP, as you alluded to, is a member of the UPND Alliance. There is a lot of talk of late about constitutional amendment. What is your view as NAREP?
Okay, thank you so very much. Yeah, I guess it's that is a big elephant in the house as at now. Well, constitutional amendment, this thing, I don't know how best politicians can manage it. But I guess the issue of refining our laws, more especially the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution, it is not the responsibility of a political party, neither is it a responsibility of the government or the president. It is the responsibility of all citizens, because the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is something that should be cautiously and carefully crafted for this generation and for the generation to come. Look at the American Constitution. It is a very small document, but it has stood the test of time. Look at UK. I beg to be corrected. United Kingdom don't have a constitution because that's a monarchy. It's a kingdom. It's governed by the king and the queen. But they are there. Smooth sailing. Why should we always talk about the constitution? Why has it been the case with Zambia? It's because there has never been a time when politicians have said enough is enough. We are going to stay away from this process as much as it needs political will for it to be done. But can we bring all the people on board? Now, this, I call it lacks procedural fairness. More especially the current talking. We don't have time to tamper with the Constitution. If that Constitution, which ushered in the UPND alliance into government, it managed to usher in the UPND government with its own lacunas, so to speak, and defects, why the hurry?
So in other words, if we understand you correctly, Mr. Kawe, you are in disagreement with your alliance partner, the UPND,
yes,
on the stance of the proposed constitutional amendments.
Yes. As much as it's a very progressive move, there are a lot of good things in this constitutional amendment proposal. Number one, I come from Mporokoso. Mporokoso, before it was subdivided, it used to be huge. Until it was divided into Lunte and Mporokoso constituencies. But even though, still these two constituencies are just too big. I was in Pambashe during the campaigns for the Pambashe constituency when we ushered in Mr. Justin Kapema, Honorable Member of Parliament now for Pambashe. I was there. you can understand why development sometimes delay to reach a people. These constituencies are just too big.
Mr. Kawa, sorry to cut you off short. Isn't it why the government has proposed the constituency delimitation?
Yes.
Isn't it a good thing?
It's a very good thing. And this is why I'm saying I'm supporting it.
You're supporting the whole constitution?
No. The whole constitution amendment lacks what I would call, we don't have time. Let me use very simple terms. Number one.
Well, there's a proposed timeline.
Between now and the elections.
Well, others are arguing that, look, the 2016 constitution, amended constitution, was done in an election year. So what's the big deal?
Should we continue doing the same things that, brought confusion? Because already this constitution amendment process.
When you say confusion, you just say that it ushered in a new government.
Yes.
So where's the confusion?
But under very difficult confusion that one, Bill 10 was shot down. That was confusion. It was abandoned along the way. Do we have to walk the same way again, the same path again?
Are you saying it's similar, Bill 10 and the new proposal?
It's one and the same, because some of the contents that were, in fact, Bill 10 was even much, much better because, one, it even had Bill of Rights. Something that if I'm not given today education, I'll go and I'll take the government to court. Can that be done today? No. So Bill 10 and Bill number 7, these things are one and the same things, except that they have found themselves in different governments or managements. It was PF, now it is us, UPND Alliance. And for us as National Restoration Party, we are saying, let's put the brake. Let's put this thing aside, have an election, and then start the process.
Mr. Kawe, your alliance partner, the UPND, is saying, look, these are non-contentious issues, and there was broad consultation. So are you saying as an alliance partner, you were not consulted?
If there was broad consultation, why is it that some people are still disagreeing? And by the way, when you talk about contentious issues, who sat down and identified contentious issues? Because all these things are supposed to be done by Zambian people, not the government. It's not the responsibility of the government or a political party to say, clause number 7, number 51 is a contentious issue. No, let's stay away from that. Let's allow Zambians to debate and point out.
I believe when we say that they're non-contentious issues, because issues have been identified from many commissions, from the Mungomba Commission and many others. These issues have been identified over the last 30 years.
And if you say they've been identified from the last 30 years, why have they not been worked on?
That is the question.
Why now?
They've been worked on now.
Why now?
Why not?
Why didn't we give it time, like during Bill 10, for it to be amended? Why did we shoot it down? Why do we want it now to be, be smooth sailing? No, what we are saying is, number one, the time is just too short. Number two, the timing itself again is very bad. You cannot bring up the issue of tampering with the constitution when you are just going into an election. How is it going to remove the speculation that and the allegations that no, there is something that they want to sneak in? We don't want to be bad boys and bad government. So we are saying tian tumangia mabreki so that tuchireke. Still we win the election. And then when we win the election in 2026 as UPND Alliance, then that will be priority number one. So that we remove the fear that no, but for kuchita manipulate so that waka winyama elections am 2026. For me and for us as National Restoration Party, if you're to relanda, if you sumemo filifingi, but what we are saying is the timing is somehow bad.
Do you sit down with your colleagues from the UPND and raise the issues that you're bringing up now?
I think I'll leave that to the president, but suffice to say that yes, at some level we do engage, but there is always a limit to where we can engage. Are your colleagues aware of the party, the NAREP's position regarding the constitutional amendments? They should be aware. And I'm sure one or two are listening to us now. So they should know that this is our position. And if they've got other reasons, other information that we don't know, maybe let them engage us and share with us so that we can come back on radio, TV, and tell the Zambian people that if it atwaishibwe ati a program efo ili n'obusumo obwo kikwete nyubu nga batu kita engage bwino, then you come back and tell the Zambian people that this thing is good, let us implement it. But as it is, even in public domain, number one, the timing is bad. Number two, there is no wide consultation. Ile longa tuwaya kumpera ya chalola ikoko mfuma kumporokoso mukisha mwamba tuyesenda fya abantu 10 randomly tubepushe balefo okuchinja olupapula olwa chalo tufumyemo fimo bambi balala nda kitabako itepo na idea taweshi benefo balefo okufumyamo nefo balefo okupiribula nefo balefo okubikamu. If today I go to Bwengwa and go just pick 10 people randomly and ask them, abengi balala ndati they have no idea. Now, is that the way we want to do it? Even if we say the learned people understand this thing, listen, if truly the learned people, they know what is good and what is bad, why are we having the back and forth with just one simple clause that talks about the presidential terms? Mwana ni debate ya wapo. Ile longa mwa constitutional court mwala sanga ba PF bali to left paper ko bati Lungu qualifies to stand. How many times have we had that case just about the presidential terms? So it simply means that we have a lot of work to do. And why do we have a lot of work to do? It's because we've not simplified this document. Na papa enechi ne bale fo ko bati bachinje tachili simplified until such a time when this thing will just be put in plain, simple language so that even the last person in the village will be able to understand. Then this back and forth will stop.
Now, Mr. Kabwe, I want to ask you this question. Doesn't it put you at odds as NAREP with the current UPND government, looking at the fact that you are in an alliance?
No, we can't be at odds. We are an independent political party as NAREP. We cannot just be dancing to every song that the government is doing. And by the way, separate UPND from the government when it comes to issues like the Constitution. This constitutional amendment is not UPND, it's the government. So if NAREP has got a different view, it is not like it is fighting the UPND. We are trying to disagree with the government, which is our right, which is correct. And by the way, it is the responsibility of opposition political party to provide checks and balances, and this is what we are doing. We don't agree. As much as they are good things, but what we are saying is, number one, the timing is very poor. There is no way. Look at what we went through prior to 2021 elections. Should we begin to go the same way? No. NAREP is saying, let's apply brakes, concentrating on doing good things for the people so that come 2026 elections, they'll give us another mandate as UPND Alliance. Then we can now embark on this journey of refining the Constitution.
This is Voice of the People on Power FM 91.3 in Nsaka, also live on Beats TV on Channel 92 on Topstar across the country. If you do have a question or contribution for our guest this morning, Mr. Mabin Kawe, the NAREP National Chairman, you can come through on 0955 997 or 0979 192 485. Let's move away a bit from the constitutional amendments and talk about the cyber laws. What's your position and views as National Restoration Party regarding the cyber laws?
Thank you very much. Again, another interesting issue. Well, I don't know how I can describe a politician.
I would say be careful what you say.
Yes, of course. I'm not going to say much because I don't want to be. Yeah, so...
Maybe kindly hold your thought before you come in. Let me just squeeze in a call for me. Good morning. You're through the Voice of the People.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Your names and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Lawrence calling from Zingalum.
Please go ahead, Lawrence.
I'm Lawrence calling you from Zingalum.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
The Nale Bwana there, are you not going to be fired? Or are you not going to end your relationship with UPND? Because UPND, you are discussing the party that is not the party to go away with the constitutional amendment. Yet, they are the people who are in forefront defending this amendment constitution. So, I think that you start with the president and other members and to allow you to say, go there and represent us and show us that we are discussing ourselves from the amending constitution, or you just did it on your own? Because the way you are sounding, with the way we've seen UPND, we've been trying to question them, why are they in hurry? Yes, there is on the same where one couple presenting UPND is no. I raised the question, he said they are not in hurry, it's in panicking, time is still there, and you are saying there's time. So how are you making you guys alliance? Are you having a high level meeting for you to come up with one? Because you are doing something than people. So if you differ at that level, meaning people of Zambia, because you need to do one thing. If you say no, you need to stop doing what one you think is right, because Zambian people, civil society, changes, and other organizations say no.
Lawrence, many thanks. I think we get the gist of your questions. Many thanks for coming through.
Oh yeah. So my conclusion, I said, go back with your colleagues. Let them do what the Zambian people because we are trying to improve something from Zambian people. Yet the Zambian people are saying we support even issue of education. CDF,
Lawrence, unfortunately you're out of time. Many thanks for coming through. We appreciate your call. Thank you very much. Do you want to respond to that maybe before we get to the cyber law question?
Of course. I think, Lawrence, thank you so very much for asking this question. Very important, actually, and I'm sure other people are still having a similar feeling about the way I'm coming out. Now, this should give you the comfort that NAREP is an independent opposition political party. We cannot be bullied, and we cannot be, just pushed into doing things that are against the aspirations and wishes of the Zambian people. For your own information, we sit down every now and then.
You have to hold that thought. Hello, you're to the Power Breakfast. Good morning. Hello, you're to the Power Breakfast. Good morning.
Yeah, Madam Mokabwanji.
Tauka bwino maukabwanji. Just tell us your name and where you're calling us from before you proceed. Okay, Bambewe, go ahead with your contribution.
Ndetumira ku garden compound.
Mkwayo.
Ndefo kutotera sana bakabwe pachinga balera ndabakalambavo. Lesa ndipa sana namwe pachinga pante kwa kuchinja olupapulo tsalo. Ndia mulya kusala. So bakabwe turemi totera sana pachinga mulelanda. Mulelanda echinga mukwaina totera sana. Lesa mipa.
Na foto atotera.
Atotera Bambewe.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, so Zambians should be comforted that they've got a opposition political party which will always stand with them. Yes, we are an alliance with the UPND, and this alliance, it is us who formed it. Sorry,
Mr. Kawa, to cut you off short before you continue with the point.
Thank you.
It did also highlight, won't it have consequences for you as a party?
What consequences? From my party? No. If I can have consequences from the UPND, under what circumstances, under what condition? I'm not a member of the UPND. I'm a member of NAREP, which is a member of the UPND alliance. And this constitution should be removed. But the separate constitution making process iteava UPND government. So when NAREP argues, it is not arguing against UPND, it is arguing against the government. And there is nothing wrong even with UPND to advise the government that yes, we are a party, but if as a government tuchitireniko. How many times have UPND members complained that inaife tuchitireniko if inaife tuchitireniko if tature ikalabuino? They are crying to the government. There is nothing wrong. I always have, even this morning before coming to this house, I had a meeting with my boss, who is the president, and is aware. And this thing is not an individual position. We have sat down, we have said no. As NAREP, we have always said, we will stand with the people. We don't want, I don't want to say much, but Zambians should begin to believe in NAREP. What we are saying is, constitutional amendments are good, whether yadi ni bill 10 nanguni no bill 7 tapali ifi bipire but ichi bipire ni timing inste oturefu atufichitirepo taiwe mepantu abantu balambo okututunganya oko bati palefu turefu okufisamo fish balefu okubikamo so ukufumyako chirya icha kutunganya echo turela ndiro kweba tawe mone ntie ntufireke. But still, ama elections tukalandena abantu. Already amataba umutengo na ufuma. Ubunga imitengo ile bwela. Amafuta imitengo na yangbo kubwela. Meaning, there is nothing to fear. Tien tubalekere. Ngabalira yota turefu apali noshita. Tubalekere chapa, turekeko. If I touch the concentrate on doing what the Zambian people want. Tubawa misho wikaro. Then, ngatwa win ama elections mu 2026, of which I'm sure we are winning. Elo tukese chamba mu January mukamona na bakupange chongono mbatakwa kabe na bakutalika chapwa. This is what we are saying.
Let's quickly move on for the sake of time. Let's talk about the cyber laws. What's the position as now?
I said that I don't know what happens to a politician when he's given power, because as much as it seems to be a bad thing, it has got a lot of good things in it. You can imagine what is happening on social media where someone wakes up and begins to insult another person. Is that good? No, we need to be managed. Everything, even this technology, as much as we have to embrace it, but it has to be managed. And for me, what I can say is that there is nothing wrong, there is nothing bad about cyber laws. Everything is okay. All I can urge Zambians, the youngsters that are so much on social media, just behave yourself. Do the right thing. Don't step on your friend's toys. Don't abuse your friend in the name of social media. Use it for the positive of your growth in terms of education, business, and otherwise. Or else, if you want to abuse it, you are on your own.
Mr. Kawe, as we wrap up, let's talk about the economic landscape. I know you alluded to the price of meal going down, the price of petroleum products going down. How would you, maybe in conclusion, how would you rate the UPND's handling of the economy? And how would you describe it?
I would say so far so good. Because when you look at countries that have developed, they had a time when they thought things were bad, but that is when they were getting better. Nalirali nekule bulecha first chambira pokufita sana, it's darkest before dawn. So we are getting there. We are getting there. Zambians, we can't afford to be changing governments like underwears. Never. Look, China is where it is because of consistency in terms of leadership. You know, Chinese Communist Party is still there. Today, if we decide, like what Honorable Vice President Ahona said, you can kick out UPND out of government, but you still remain poor. Even Jesus Christ at some point made a similar illustration. When a lady poured expensive oil on the feet, and someone amongst these disciples said, Jesus, Lord, I am of Tabakuitirapamakasanga to Achisha to Apera Kwabapina. Jesus said,
hold that thought,
the poor
Mr.
will be there.
Hold that thought.
Good morning, your last caller. Good morning.
Mwaka bwanji mu studio.
Bueno bwanji.
No, na ukabwino. Ba jeshi watu mwaka bwanji mu studio.
Twa ukabwino mwaka bwanji.
Bueno zinangane ndine Fraser nitumina kwa bagesi watu mukamba mushe pankani ya bill 7. true, many Zambians here, my church leaders, my organization, tinaikana ibu7. Manje, but guess what, it seems like naimwe, mlipamozi waisi tinaikana. Manje mucha devise bwanji government yano. Because kama hivi, bazata go ahead. All want to wakambe, bazata go ahead. So, my question is, kapela bazata go ahead. Warani abantu, warani bandane. Jeni two, kuti country on the paso goal wa guess what? Without normalite throughout. Tingende paso goal mno Zambia. Or maybe the party government will pass mayenzi mwaneti chungira normalite. Achieve mlansi mu or Zambia achieve. Then issue Miris Kimanga. Ni matanzi angati mnafaka mu reserve mu food agent. Ni zile right now. President what you like baba investiriko but reserve munafaka yangati ndabibati misi ambiri yambotoka outside igulisiwa. So that boys company for mulenge reserve munafaka ko as my PMDI baba munafaka reserve yangati kanti wide siko msezali bwe.
Many thanks indeed. I guess you took the questions right out of our mouth. We'll let you answer those final questions.
Exactly. Thank you so very much. So, just to answer the last caller when he asked asking about how many has actually been put in reserve. Be comforted that yesterday FRA announced the floor price for our grains, that is rice and maize. So right now we can't give you the figures because we are just beginning to restock, but be assured that God has blessed us with a bumper harvest, so we're gonna have enough even to feed our neighboring countries. There is no more starvation. The prices of meal will begin to drop, and I'm sure you have noticed that already we are enjoying the reduction in terms of commodity prices. Then someone talked about whether the government is governing what or people. The government is governing people, and who knows, maybe once they have gone around and heard your views, your cries, and your rejection or support of this thing, they will analyze who is for this and who is against this. And ultimately, this government is a listening government. President HH is a good man, is a gentleman, is a good president, is a listening president. I'm sure ultimately he will guide and he will make the right decision.
Final question, the listening government, are they a listening partner? Are they going to listen to NAREP on some of the issues that you've raised, particularly on the proposed constitutional amendments?
I'm very much sure that the president will engage our president before making the final decision, and they will have a very cordial and good discussion, which